Good morning. It's Laura here. Welcome back to the podcast. Today, we're talking about something very important, something many people think about, but don't always talk about: how to meet new people. In English, if this topic feels a little uncomfortable, that's okay. You're not alone. Meeting new people can feel exciting, but it can also feel scary, especially when English is not your first language. So today, let's slow down. Let's breathe, and let's talk about it together. Meeting new people doesn't start with speaking. It starts with how you feel inside. Many people think, my English is not good enough. What if I make a mistake? What if they don't understand me? These thoughts are very common and very human, but here's something important to remember. Most people are not judging your English. They're thinking about themselves. They're wondering, do I sound okay? Am I interesting? Am I doing this right? Everyone feels a little unsure sometimes. Confidence doesn't mean perfect English. Confidence means showing up, even when you feel nervous. And confidence grows slowly, not in one day, not in one conversation. It grows eventually, step by step. The first step to meeting new people is being open. Open doesn't mean loud. Open doesn't mean talking a lot. Open means being present, looking around, not hiding. Sometimes, it's as simple as standing comfortably. Instead of looking at the phone, eye contact matters. A small smile matters. These things speak before words. And here's something interesting. You don't need many words to start a connection. Sometimes, one sentence is enough. Morning. Nice day today. Simple. Natural. Real. These small sentences open doors. Let's talk about a word that matters here. Approachable. Approachable means easy to talk to. Friendly. Open. You don't need perfect grammar to be approachable. You just need a calm presence. When you walk into a place, a cafe, a class, a workplace, a neighborhood, people notice energy before language. If you look tense, nervous, closed, people may hesitate. But if you look relaxed, even quietly relaxed, people feel safer talking to you. That's why body language matters so much. Relax your shoulders. Stand naturally. Breathe. You don't need to rush. Now let's imagine a real situation. You walk into a cafe. You order your drink. You're waiting. Someone is standing near you. They're also waiting. This is a moment, a small opportunity. You don't need a long conversation. You don't need a perfect sentence. You can say something simple. This place is busy today. The voice you selected does not support this language. Please click the upper right corner to switch to another voice. I like this cafe. That's it. The goal is not to impress. The goal is to connect. Connection starts small. Many people wait for the perfect moment. But perfect moments rarely come. Real life is imperfect. Conversations are imperfect. English doesn't need to be perfect, it just needs to be clear. Clear is more important than correct. Another useful word here is initiative. Initiative means taking the first step. Not waiting, not hoping someone else starts. Taking initiative feels scary at first, but it becomes easier. The first time feels hard. The second time feels less hard. The third time feels normal. Eventually, it feels natural. And remember, you don't need to talk to everyone. You don't need to be social all the time. One small interaction is enough for one day. Meeting new people is not about quantity. It's about comfort. Let's talk about listening. Good conversations are not about speaking a lot. They are about listening well. When you listen, people feel valued. You can show listening with short responses. Oh, really? That sounds nice. I understand. These phrases are powerful. They keep conversations going. Even when your English is simple. Here's another word worth noticing: curious. Curious means interested, wanting to know more. When you're curious, conversations feel easier. You don't need to think about what to say next. You just listen and respond. What do you do? How long have you lived here? Do you like it? Simple questions. Real interest. Now let's slow down again. Meeting new people is not a performance. It's not a test. It's not an exam. It's two humans sharing a moment. Sometimes the conversation flows. Sometimes it doesn't. And that's okay. Not every conversation turns into a friendship. Not every meeting becomes something more. And that's normal. Rejection is not failure. Silence is not failure. Awkward moments are not failure. They are part of life. Another important word is comfortable. Comfortable means feeling okay, not stressed, not tense. Your goal is not to sound like a native speaker. Your goal is to feel comfortable enough to speak. Comfort comes from practice, and practice comes from trying. Now imagine walking away from a small conversation. Maybe it lasted 1 minute, maybe 2. That still counts. You showed up. You spoke. You listened. That's progress, and progress matters. Tomorrow, you can try again. Another small moment. Another simple sentence. Over time, meeting new people feels less scary. English feels less heavy, and one day, you realize something changed. You're speaking without overthinking. You're listening without fear. That change happens eventually, quietly, naturally, and this is just the beginning. Hello again. It's Laura. If you're still listening, that already tells me something about you. You're trying. You're curious. You're open to growing, and that matters. In the first part, we talked about mindset, about confidence, about starting small. Now let's move into real life, because meeting new people doesn't happen in theory. It happens in everyday moments. Let's talk about those moments. One very common place to meet new people is work, or school, or any place where people come regularly. These places can feel stressful, because you see the same people again and again. You might think, what if I say something wrong? What if it's awkward tomorrow? That fear is very real. But here's the truth. People at work are usually busy thinking about work, not about your English. Most conversations at work are simple, short, practical, and that's good news. You don't need deep conversations. You don't need jokes. You don't need perfect grammar. You just need to be clear. Let's imagine a normal morning at work. You walk in, you see someone near you. You don't need to start a big conversation. You can say, "Good morning. How's your day going?" That's enough. Sometimes they answer quickly. Sometimes they talk more. Both are okay. Small talk is not about saying something special. It's about sharing a moment. Now let's talk about a word that fits here. Polite. Polite means respectful and kind. Simple politeness opens many doors. Saying please, thank you, and excuse me matters. Even when your English is basic, politeness feels safe to people. Another place where people meet is in the neighborhood. Maybe near your home. Maybe while walking. Maybe in an elevator. These moments are short, but powerful. In an elevator, you don't need a long talk. You can say, "The voice you selected does not support this language. Please click the upper right corner to switch to another voice." The voice you selected does not support this language. Please click the upper right corner to switch to another voice. Cold day to date. That's it. Silence after that is okay. You don't need to fill every space with words. Sometimes, just being friendly once makes the next time easier, and the next time easier again. This is how relationships grow. Slowly, naturally. Now let's talk about something many people worry about. What if I don't understand? This is very common. And here's something important. Not understanding is normal. Even native speakers don't understand everything. When you don't understand, you don't need to panic. You can say, "Sorry, can you say that again?" The voice you selected does not support this language. Please click the upper right corner to switch to another voice. Sorry, I didn't catch that. These are very normal sentences. They don't make you look weak. They make you look honest. Another useful word here is patient. Patient means calm and willing to wait. Most people are patient when they see you are trying, and if someone is not patient, that's not your fault. You are allowed to learn at your own pace. Now, let's talk about small talk more deeply. Small talk is not small. It's how people connect before deeper conversations. Common small talk topics are weather, daily routines, work, food, weekends. You don't need opinions. You don't need strong ideas. You can keep it light. I usually work from home. I like quiet weekends. This place is busy today. Simple sentences are powerful. Here's another word that helps in conversations. Familiar. Familiar means known, something you see often. When a place becomes familiar, people become familiar too. The more familiar you are, the easier conversations feel. That's why routine helps. Going to the same cafe, walking the same path, shopping at the same store. You start seeing the same faces, and one day, a conversation starts naturally. Now, let's talk about online spaces. Meeting new people doesn't only happen face-to-face. It happens online too. Language groups, work chats, communities. Online conversations feel easier for many people because you have time to think, and that's okay. Online practice still helps real-life speaking. You learn how people respond. You learn natural expressions. You learn rhythm. Just remember one thing. Online English doesn't need to be perfect either. Short messages are fine. Simple sentences are fine. Nice to meet you. Thanks for sharing. I agree. These small responses build connection. Now let's talk about nervousness. Nervousness doesn't disappear before speaking. It disappears after speaking. Waiting doesn't make it go away. Doing does. And nervousness doesn't mean you're bad at English. It means you care. Another useful word is brave. Brave doesn't mean fearless. Brave means doing something even when fear is there. Every time you speak, you're being brave. Even one sentence counts. Some days, you'll feel confident. Other days you won't. That's normal. Progress is not straight. It goes up and down. But as long as you keep going, you're moving forward. Now, let's imagine a longer conversation. Someone asks you, "So, what do you do?" You don't need a perfect answer. You can say, "I work in an office." The voice you selected does not support this language. Please click the upper right corner to switch to another voice. "I'm learning English right now." That's enough. If they ask more, you answer what you can. You don't need to explain everything. It's okay to keep things simple. Simplicity is not weakness. It's clarity, and clarity builds confidence. Another important word here is connection. Connection doesn't come from perfect English. It comes from honesty. People remember how you make them feel, not your grammar. If you are kind, if you listen, if you respond with interest, that's what matters. Sometimes conversations end quickly. Sometimes they continue. Both are fine. You don't need to force anything. Now let's slow down again. Meeting new people is a skill, and skills grow with practice. You don't wake up one day confident. You become confident over time. One conversation, then another, and one day you realize you're not overthinking as much. You're just speaking. That's progress, and you're doing better than you think. Hello again. It's Laura. If you're still here with me, I want you to pause for a second, not in words, just in feeling. You've already come a long way. Listening itself is a form of courage. Now let's talk about what happens after the first conversation, after the small talk, after the hello, because meeting new people is one thing. Building connections is another, and this part often feels confusing. You might think, how do I go from small talk to real talk? How do I make friends in English? Let's talk about that. First, it's important to understand something. Friendship grows slowly. In any language, it doesn't happen in one conversation. It happens through time, through shared moments. So, if you've talked to someone once and nothing big happened, that's normal. Real connections need patience. Another important word here is trust. Trust means feeling safe with someone, feeling comfortable being yourself. Trust doesn't appear immediately. It grows little by little. One conversation, then another, then another. Now let's imagine this. You've talked to someone before, maybe at work, maybe at a cafe, maybe in your neighborhood. You recognize each other now. This is a new stage. You're no longer strangers. You're familiar. That familiarity matters. The next time you see them, you don't need to start again from zero. You can't say something simple like, "Hey, how have you been? Nice to see you again." That small sentence builds continuity. Continuity is powerful. It tells the other person, "I remember you." And being remembered feels good. Now let's talk about deeper conversations. Deeper doesn't mean personal secrets. It means slightly more meaningful. Instead of talking only about weather, you talk about daily life. How was your day? Was work busy? Did you do anything nice this weekend? These questions open space. And here's something important. You don't need long answers. Short, honest answers are enough. Work was busy, but okay. I stayed home and relaxed. I met a friend. Simple. Natural. Another word that fits here is relaxed. Relaxed means calm and comfortable. When you relax, your English flows better. Tension blocks words. Relaxation lets them come. And relaxation comes from acceptance. Accepting that mistakes will happen. Accepting that silence happens. Accepting that not every conversation is perfect. Now let's talk about silence. Silence is not your enemy. Many English learners fear silence. They think silence means failure. But silence is normal, even between native speakers. Sometimes people just think. Sometimes they're tired. Sometimes they don't know what to say either. Silence doesn't mean you did something wrong. You don't need to fill every gap. But if you want to continue the conversation, you can gently bring in something new. So, how long have you lived here? Do you like this area? What do you usually do after work? These are soft questions, not intrusive, not heavy. Another useful word here is natural. Natural conversations are not forced. They move slowly. They pause. They breathe. You don't need to perform. You're not on a stage. You're sharing a moment. Now let's talk about making friends. Friendship often starts with shared routine, seeing someone regularly, talking briefly, smiling, recognizing each other. Over time, those moments add up. One day, someone might say, "Do you want to grab a coffee? Want to walk together?" And if that feels scary, that's okay. You can say yes, or you can say no politely. Both are okay. You are allowed to choose your comfort. Another word that fits here is respect. Respect means honoring yourself and others. You don't need to say yes to everything. You don't need to push yourself too hard. Growth doesn't mean pressure. It means gentle expansion. Now let's talk about mistakes again, because they never fully disappear, and that's okay. You will say the wrong words sometime. You will forget words. You will misunderstand. That doesn't stop connection. Most people understand intention. If you are kind, if you listen, if you try, that's what people feel, not your grammar. Another important word is forgiving. Forgiving yourself matters. If a conversation doesn't go well, you don't need to replay it all night. You can let it go. Tomorrow is another day, another chance. Now let's imagine ending a conversation. This is something many learners find difficult. How do you leave without being rude? The good news is, English has very gentle endings. You can say, "It was nice talking to you. I should get going. Have a good day." These sentences are polite and clear. You don't need excuses. You don't need explanations. Leaving naturally is part of good communication. Now let's talk about consistency. Meeting new people once is good, but consistency builds confidence. Talking a little every day helps more than long talks once a month. One sentence a day is enough. at a store, at work, online, anywhere. That daily exposure changes your brain. English becomes less foreign, more familiar, and familiarity brings ease. Now let's slow down again. If you feel tired sometimes, that's normal. Learning a language is emotional. You're not just learning words. You're learning how to express yourself again. That takes energy. Be gentle with yourself. Another word here is progress. Progress is not loud. It's quiet. One day, you realize you understand more. One day, you answer without thinking. One day, you smile instead of panic. Those moments matter, and they are happening. Even if you don't notice yet, meeting new people in English is not about becoming someone else. It's about being yourself in another language. Your personality doesn't disappear. It adapts. Your kindness still shows. Your curiosity still shows. Language is just the bridge, and you are building that bridge every time you try. Now let's end this part gently. If you feel unsure today, that's okay. If you feel confident today, that's great. Both are part of the journey. Just keep showing up, keep listening, keep speaking when you can. You don't need to rush. You're doing better than you think. And I'm really glad you're here.